I never thought this day would come, but ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another Isaac Butterfield reaction. Honestly, I thought that Isaac was probably just scared of me because it took him 2 years to respond to my last video, but it looks like over the past 2 years he was just charging up the perfect response so he could come back and destroy me with facts and logic. To catch you up to speed if you don't know what's going on, around 2 years ago I made a video on my other channel about Isaac Butterfield. Basically, Isaac is like a centrist edgelord comedian who had a controversy a couple years ago on TikTok because he made a bunch of videos about how disgusting he finds women's body hair. It's been a while since I made that video, but I think basically my take at the time was that it's totally fine to have your own personal preferences around body hair, but I think it's cringe to go on the internet and tell everyone how disgusting you find women's body hair. In the same way, I think it's fine to not be attracted to bald dudes like Isaac, but I think it would be cringe to make a bunch of TikToks about how disgusting you find bald people. And obviously in society, there's even more pressure for women to shave their body hair than there is for men to have full heads of hair. Don't get me wrong, there definitely is pressure in society for dudes' hairlines. I mean, both me and Isaac don't have the greatest hairlines, but in general, dudes can shave their head without getting a ton of shit for it, but women can't grow out their body hair without getting a ton of shit for it. So just in general, don't be a dick to women. I don't think this is that crazy of a take, but anyway, a couple years ago, Isaac made a response video to my video, and then I made another response video to him, and then he waited 2 years, and just a couple weeks ago, he put out another response video to me. I haven't watched the video yet. I thought it would be fun to just give my honest first reaction and response, and I don't even know if I'll 100% agree with every single thing that I said 2 years ago, but I guess we'll find out. This is legitimately the last time I'm gonna respond to this dude, so I hope you savor this prime Isaac versus Ryan content because this is gonna be the last time that you get it. Anyway, enough stalling, let's get into the response.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea that this existed, but it does. There is somebody calling me out. Well, they were calling me out 2 years ago, but I didn't know it existed until just recently. So I thought, you know what? I can't just let that sit there. I can't let that simmer. I need to go and I need to, do what's right. I need to defend myself, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just have someone talking mad shit. Me and this gentleman, we've had a back and forth in the past. We've had arguments. Now we're older, wiser. We look different. I'm talking about this guy. This was him 2 years ago. This was me 2 years ago. Look at me now. My hair's fallen out. Good God. Look at him now. He looks like a drug dealer who does accounting on the side.
I guess he's saying that I look like a drug dealer now because of my ponytail. And he's not wrong. I actually am a drug dealer now, and the main drug that I sell is black market hair loss medication. So Isaac, when this is all said and done and the cameras are off, I would be happy to sell you some black market hair loss meds, and then maybe both of us can have a full head of hair again someday.
Australia's dumbest comedian. That is rude. That is rude.
I'm sorry, Isaac, that was pretty rude of me to say that you're Australia's dumbest comedian. Over the years, I've changed my mind and decided that you're actually Australia's smartest comedian. But unfortunately, being Australia's smartest comedian still makes you dumber than 99% of comedians. And I have a right to make that joke because I moved to Australia a couple years ago, so I am included in that list of dumb Australian comedians. Angry American attacks me, which I just found very funny, the thumbnail that he chose to use.
Okay. Angry American attacks me.
Because it just is a picture of me looking super happy, and then a picture of him looking like he's trying to kiss me. So I'm not exactly sure what the message behind that is.
It means, I don't know what it means. It's my thumbnail guy made it. What can I say?
I think it just means that you like to kiss angry people. Just own it, Isaac. If you're looking for angry people to kiss, America is definitely the place to go. America is the land of the free and the home of the angry. I wasn't angry when I made that video, and I also wasn't trying to attack him. I was trying to criticize him.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we live in the YouTube world, and in the YouTube world, you have to put clickbaity, shitty titles like, oh my God, this angry American leftist tried to grenade my family. You have to put shit like that, otherwise people won't click on it because there's 4 billion other things they could click on that day. It's a whole thing. You know about it. I'm sure. Well, do you? I don't even know. You haven't uploaded anything in like a year, so maybe you've just given up. I hope you have.
He says that I haven't posted in a year, and then right there on the screen it says that I posted a month ago. This dude really seems to struggle with time blindness. He thinks that months are years. He hasn't responded to me in 2 years, but he probably thinks that it was only 2 months. But you know what? I know that time blindness is something that people with ADHD struggle with, and I am definitely not trying to shame people for that. I don't know if Isaac does have ADHD, but if he does, I stand with my ADHD brother.
I wasn't attacking you. I was criticizing you.
For sure, but in that video, I'm pretty sure you said some mean things. So you could say that it's attacking. Don't get me wrong, I'm not, and I don't mean to sound like a big tough guy here, even though I'm 6'8" with a beard. Like I could grow a clitoris and still be more of a man than you. But what I'm trying to say is, you're having a bit of a crack at me, attacking, whatever. We're playing word games here. Who cares?
You could grow a clitoris and still be more of a man than me. That's awfully trans affirming of you, Isaac. We got Isaac the trans ally over here. But yeah, I agree with you that I don't really give a fuck about the titles of our videos. Like, I said that you're Australia's dumbest comedian, even if you're not literally the dumbest comedian in Australia. And you said that I attacked you, even if I didn't literally attack you. Like, who gives a fuck?
Like, every single video that Isaac puts on his channel is him, like, criticizing people. But then when I criticize him, I'm an angry woke person attacking him.
Yeah, you are.
I just don't understand it. Are you saying that, like, you're attacking the people that you criticize?
Yes.
Because I feel like what I did to you is exactly what you do to other people.
Yes. They've come after me because they don't... How is that hard to understand? Yes, of course, if I'm having a crack at someone, if I'm making fun of them, I'm attacking them. I'm not being their friend.
All right, I guess we're on the same page then. You attack women for their body hair, then I attack you, then you attack me. We're all just attack buddies. But I'm pretty sure that I was calling out your hypocrisy because there have been times in the past where you've criticized fat people or women, but then claimed that you weren't attacking them. But now you're saying that you actually were attacking them. For example, in your Welcome to Fat Talk video, you repeatedly say that you aren't hating on these individuals, you're just criticizing their message.
I can think of one thing more powerful, her fucking waistband. That waistband is so powerful it could hold back climate change. Once again, I'm not hating on these individuals. I'm just hating on the message.
Yet, if anyone makes a video criticizing you, you say that they're attacking you. That's the hypocrisy that I'm pointing out here. So you have two options. Either own the fact that you actually are attacking these fat people when you criticize them, or accept that I'm not actually attacking you, I'm just criticizing you. You can't have it both ways. And one of the things that annoys me about you is the way that you'll flip-flop your arguments depending on what situation you're currently in.
You think to yourself, holy fucking shit, I might jump off a...
I thought this comment here was really funny. I like women's hair. In our current society, I'm the freak. This body hair thing was for most of the time an American thing. Up until the mid-70s, a lot of Germans, women didn't shave.
So he's obviously picked out one of the comments that maybe isn't actually attacking me. And I will say this once again to my editor. Why did you screenshot that, Connor? Why? And Connor will not get paid this week. Very good.
Yeah, fuck you, Isaac's editor. Do a better job at picking hate comments. So at least he acknowledges that he put a screenshot of something that he claimed was a hate comment, but actually wasn't a hate comment. I appreciate the concession on that point.
I am the guy on the camera, so it comes down to me. I have to watch these videos of myself, which is obviously very painful, because I have to listen to myself again and again and again, and I miss that. And who gives a shit?
I mean, yeah, it is painful to listen to you. I'm glad we're both on the same page there. I do think you have a responsibility to make sure that the screenshots you show are accurate. I work with my editor to make sure that everything being shown on screen actually supports the points that I'm making. That's like one of the things that's part of your job, but you know, whatever, everyone makes mistakes.
He doesn't even have a beard.
Yes, I do not have a beard. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Okay,
it's pronounced Isaac. Isaac. Not this ISAC business. America. pull your fucking finger out and get the enunciation of my name correct.
Isaac, I was calling you Isaac as this little thing called a joke. I was calling you Isaac because it kind of sounds like the Australian pronunciation of Isaac, Isaac. But I'm very sorry if my joke was bigoted towards Australians and that offended you. So I'll make sure to pronounce your name correctly from now on. Isaac.
Incapable of growing a beard.
What does that tell you about a person if a man is incapable of growing a beard? You are defending women that are hairier than you.
Me not being able to grow a beard says that I have a hormone deficiency, Isaac. I struggle to grow hair on my face and on my forehead, and it seems like you only struggle to grow hair on your forehead, so I guess you have me beat there. 1 point to Isaac.
Just happened to be born with the last name Beard, so
Good last name.
if you want someone to criticize my British ancestors.
I'm sure you do that enough. I bet you just fucking whip yourself when you're jerking off going, I hate my ancestors. Why were they so mean?
No, Isaac, I don't whip myself when I'm jerking off. I choke myself when I'm jerking off. These are totally different fetishes, and I do not appreciate the kink shaming that is happening right now. Recently, I've been trying to become a more well-rounded person, and one of the ways I've been trying to do this is by learning more about things that I find interesting, but I just haven't taken the time to learn about in the past. And one of those things I've been trying to learn more about is fragrances. And one of the best places to learn about different colognes and perfumes is Scentbird, today's sponsor. Scentbird is a monthly fragrance subscription that allows you to sample various colognes and perfumes from around the world for a fraction of the price. And being able to sample various different fragrances has made it so much easier for me to learn about fragrances in general. And there's also a vibrant community of fragrance enthusiasts on Scentbird.com who leave reviews and recommendations of the fragrances they love the most. This month, my favorite fragrance is Subtil pour Homme by Salvatore Ferragamo. It's a very fresh, fruity, and light scent with some floral notes of violet and lotus without those floral notes being too overpowering. This is a perfect scent to wear out on like a casual night out with your friends. I've also been loving the Carved Oud by Thameen, which is a more strong, traditionally masculine scent that's very wood forward with notes of amber and cedar. Wearing this kind of smells like you're in a forest, so it's perfect for a fall date night or maybe a freaking frolic through a pumpkin patch. What I really like about these Scentbird bottles is how portable and discreet they are. You can hide them pretty much just about anywhere, and they're just so much more affordable than committing to buying a full bottle of some of these fragrances, which can go for $300 to $500. But you do get a lot of fragrance in each bottle. Some of these have lasted me a long time in the past. So if you're interested in trying Scentbird yourself, scan my QR code, click the link in the description, or use my code RyanBeard for 55% off your first month at Scentbird. That's RyanBeard for 55% off your first month at Scentbird.
And who better than the edgy comedian?
Edgy? Really? I get called that from people quite a bit from... Yeah, I think when you say someone's edgy, you're sort of trying to say that they're like not funny, or they're just being like, they're just saying offensive things just for the sake of saying offensive things. And I think there is nuance to that, because saying offensive jokes to be offensive can be very, very funny if it's particularly offensive and funny at the same time. But if you just say like really offensive shit that isn't really provoking laughter in anyone, then that's a little bit cringy, right? And that would be seen as what he is saying here, that I am, edgy.
No, when I say edgy, there's no negative connotation to that. Some of my favorite comedians are edgy. Like Eric Andre is one of my favorite comedians.
You ever bone your grandma to death? Talk about going out with a bang, people. This ain't your mama's monologue. Hey, you ever take a piss at the zoo and the hippo walks into the bathroom and you're like, get out of here, you fat Oh, I'm saying it. Hey, Hunger Games, I'm still full.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is my favorite comedy show of all time. I love edgy comedy, but I just don't find your edgy comedy funny because I feel like you go for low-hanging fruit a lot. And I do think that sometimes you use your comedy as a mask for pushing legitimately stupid opinions.
So I actually don't think that just calling someone an edgy comedian is an insult in itself.
Yeah, but you're not a comedian, so shut the fuck up.
Not a comedian. I started my fucking career getting X'd by Simon Cowell on America's Got Talent as a comedian. And then I did Unmotivational Monday on TikTok as a comedian. Do your fucking research, bro. I probably haven't done as much live comedy as this dude, but I've done a bunch of improv comedy live, and I obviously am a comedian. I do comedic songs all the time. I don't need to defend whether or not I'm a comedian to this dude. And are you saying that I can't have an opinion on your comedy if I'm not a comedian? Then why are you always giving your opinions on women and fat people if you're not a woman and you're not fat? Seems like a bit of a logical contradiction there, Isaac.
Skip.
He skipped all the good parts, Isaac. All the best parts you skipped. Come on.
Nothing gets me stiffer than seeing people call me a racist misogynist. Nothing gets me harder than getting called an Islamophobic piece of shit. All of those terms mean nothing. Yeah, they don't mean anything because they're being used by people who just throw shit at walls. What I mean by that is the people who would call me a misogynist or a homophobe or a transphobe or an Islamophobe or whatever. They're the same people who say that about a whole manner of different people. And they just throw those terms out there hoping that they don't have to actually argue their point. They think by throwing that term at someone that they can just go, okay, well, I've said that, and now that person has to be that, and they're tarnished by that, and I win.
No, Isaac, I don't think that you should just label someone a fatphobe or a misogynist without giving any evidence to support your position. That's why when I make claims about people, I do try to back it up with logic and evidence. And I agree with you, there are people on the internet, especially on Twitter, who throw around these labels too much. Like, I've had people on the internet call me fatphobic before as well, but that doesn't mean that words like fatphobia and misogyny are completely meaningless because there are people that fall into those categories. You just disagree with me that you fall into those categories.
And the reason I said that you get turned on when people call you these things is because you like when people cancel you, because when people cancel you, it like helps you sell more tickets. You've said this.
It's very true.
This is why I said that comedians like you get turned on when you call them racist, bigoted, whatever, because that's like your whole marketing tactic is that you want people to think, oh.
It also works very well.
Well, at least he's admitting how the whole anti-woke comedy grift works. And like, whatever sells tickets, I guess. I just think someone is generally a better comedian if they can sell tickets without having to lean on being like, oh, I'm so problematic and everyone's trying to cancel me. Like, Eric Andre can sell out edgy comedy shows without having to rely on always talking about how canceled he is. So all I'm saying is that I think you're a worse comedian than some other comedians, and you can feel free to disagree with me on that.
He's so edgy and so controversial because he's not afraid to say what everyone else is afraid to say. He's not afraid to make a joke about Muslim people dying. Ooh.
I should have him, like, promote my shows. It's actually really good. Well done.
Isaac Butterfield is an Australian comedian. He's not afraid to say what everyone else is afraid to say. He's not afraid to make a joke about Muslim people dying. Ooh.
Okay, that was pretty funny.
Why my video focused on how I think you're a hypocrite and you contradict yourself all the time, not on how I think you're a bigot, because me calling you a bigot turns you on.
I am still aroused. I may have been a hypocrite about something. I don't know what he's actually referring to here, but I have made 1,000 YouTube videos. I've probably said something that, you know, contradicts something else that I've said. These things happen. I've been on the platform for 7 years, so I probably have said things that are completely but anyway, it is what it is.
All right. I guess you've just accepted that you've said a bunch of hypocritical things. Like, I personally try to avoid being a hypocrite. I'm sure everyone makes mistakes, and I'm sure I have said something hypocritical at some point, but like, I don't think you should just own the fact that you're a hypocrite. Like, I do think people have a responsibility to try to avoid being hypocritical as much as possible.
The things that I was criticizing you for are not based in scientific technical knowledge. I called you an asshole because you said women's body hair is disgusting.
And that is a fact. I don't know how it's a fact, but it's a fact.
Ah, yes, it is a scientific fact that women's body hair is disgusting. A totally subjective opinion is actually a scientific fact. Even though there have been countless times throughout history where women's body hair wasn't seen as disgusting, those people were just going against the facts. The disgust response that you have when you see women's body hair is based on the society that you were raised in. If you were raised 1,000 years ago, you probably would not have that same disgust response. I'm not saying you're a bad person for feeling disgust. You can't control the emotions that you feel, but I do think you're an asshole for sharing it to millions of people on the internet.
I called you a hypocrite because you hate when women make generalizations and then you turn around and make a bunch of generalizations.
Stop making generalizations about things that I say.
I didn't make generalizations about the things that you say. I didn't say that you're always a hypocrite. That would be a generalization. I said that you're sometimes a hypocrite, and that's what I'm criticizing.
Something I wanted to bring up in this video is I'm going to do this over a few days. Why? Because I have a wife and child. I have things to do. I have all these things that are far more important than watching an hour-long video of you fucking just sitting in front of my video. Dude, I have so many more important things to do, but I am doing this because it makes me money.
Okay, you have a wife and a kid. I have a girlfriend. You have a life outside of YouTube. I also have a life outside of YouTube. You make money from it. I also do. What is the criticism here?
There's no scientific data that says we should slut
there
shame
is.
people. That's just your, perspective.
The graph, the pie graph, it's a cream pie.
So your rebuttal to me saying that there's no scientific data that says that we should slut shame people is that the graph is a cream pie? I guess in Isaac's head, the way that you do scientific research is by just walking into a lab and jerking off onto everything. You know, that does sound like a much more enjoyable way to do science. I'll give him credit for that.
So go subscribe to my shitty podcast, Cancel Me Now.
Ah, the podcast. We don't do that anymore.
You're saying that the Cancel Me podcast got canceled? Wow, that is some divine irony right there, Isaac.
I have been told so many times that I'm going to be killed.
But do you not understand that,
Hey, don't you defend the death threaters? How dare you?
That seemed edited in a strange way. I'm gonna go back to the original video and see if I actually did defend the death threaters.
That I'm going to be killed.
But do you not understand that, I understand that you get death threats from the things you say. Everyone on the internet gets death threats. I think death threats are horrible. No one should ever send anyone death threats. I get death threats. He gets death threats. Everyone does. But I just don't understand why he can sit here and be like, oh, there are negative repercussions to being canceled. But then he refuses to acknowledge any of the negative repercussions that can be spread through messages like saying that women's body hair is disgusting.
That is some incredibly fucking dishonest editing, Isaac. I clearly said in the video that you're responding to that death threats are horrible and that they are never justified. The point that I made is that if you realize how terrible death threats are because you get them, then you should also realize how horrible it is for the people who get death threats because of the videos you make about them. But you just dishonestly edited me to make it look like I justified death threats. That is not fucking okay. This is the first time I've been legitimately upset in this video, because falsely claiming that I defend death threats to your audience of 2 million people has actual negative repercussions. Oh, but I forgot, you always stick to the facts, right? Fuck you, dude.
The only way that Isaac is being canceled is by his audience slowly losing interest in his content, causing him to get 1/10 of the views that he used to.
Fair point. Ralphie's not missing the mark there.
At least he owned up to it. Now, I actually... That was
Hey,
kind of me just...
I said more in that video. I said that the videos you were showing were a month old in comparison to videos that were 3 years old. Of course, the videos with three-year-old videos had more views. So let's not fucking edit around things, Ralph.
Let's not edit around things. You just edited me to make it look like I defend death threats. I'm sorry if I edited out the context of you explaining that your videos get more views over time. I thought that was obvious. But even now, 2 years later, a lot of the videos you posted around this time still have 10 times less views than the videos that you posted when you were at your most popular. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have also fallen off in views, but again, this is what is known as a comedic roast. I would think that you know this as a comedian.
Isaac pissed off a bunch of people when he posted this on TikTok.
Okay, so we're fucking 15 minutes into the video and he finally is talking about what I did to piss everybody off.
I'm going to freak everybody out. I'm going to upset some people, and I enjoy doing that. Female body hair is disgusting.
Yeah, but in certain circumstances, okay? Not everyone, not every hair, fucking chill out.
I never claimed that you said that every single body hair is disgusting. I know that you're saying that a lot of body hair on women is disgusting. And again, I am not attacking you for your personal preferences. I just think it's a dick move to put something out on the internet for hundreds of thousands of people that's gonna make a bunch of people feel bad about their bodies.
I went on to say, listen, this isn't about chicks with a little bit of hair. This is about women who have massive hairy bushy underarms or extremely bushy legs and they think they're changing the world. That's literally my point. I think that's a bit gross.
And I think that
Do you think it's good? Do you enjoy a big bush under the arms? Do you like rubbing your hand on a woman's legs and going, ooh, look at all these fucking big bits of hair, just picking them out, flossing your teeth with them? Is that what you enjoy, Mr. B?
No, women having a lot of body hair is not my personal preference, but I understand that the reason it's my personal preference is probably mostly because of the way I was raised. In society, we believe that men having a lot of body hair is not disgusting, and women having a lot of body hair is disgusting. So if there's no logical underpinning, there's no logical bedrock of why people find one disgusting and not the other, I'm not gonna go on the internet and say that I find one disgusting because it makes people feel bad and I care about people's feelings. You can call me a stupid little snowflake for caring about people's feelings, but I just do.
You hear chicks all the time, I fucking hate beards or foreskins. Some women hate foreskins, all right? So we can all have preferences. We can all say that something's disgusting, we don't enjoy it. Get over it.
Yes, Isaac, we can have whatever preferences we want to have, but if a girl went on social media and broadcasted to the entire world that she finds foreskins disgusting, I would also call her an asshole. Because there's no logical reason to find foreskins disgusting, it's just extra skin on the penis. And I don't want dudes to have to unnecessarily feel shitty about their dicks because I care about dudes' feelings. I'm sorry if that makes me a fucking snowflake.
you have gone and criticized other people and called them assholes and said they're not being respectful. In the video I criticized because you called a trans person an asshole because they were like, you need to use my pronouns. And he's like, oh, don't be an asshole about it. I'll use your pronouns, but don't be an asshole. And then he turns around and he's a massive asshole.
But it's about something else. Whatever. Listen, I'm not going to go through this entire video with a fine-tooth comb and argue against every single point.
That was a good critique. You critiqued a trans person for being an asshole because they were like demanding you use their pronouns, but then you take pride in the fact that you're an asshole.
These are not my preferred pronouns. These are my pronouns. You will use them, or you will not refer to me. At all.
Okay, I will use one if they ask nicely, but stop being the personification of an asshole.
I'm going to upset some people, and I enjoy doing that.
No one wants to hear what you have to say or what you want people to call you if you're being mean. I wanted to see if I could piss off an entire group of people.
And your only response is that it's different? Do you know what an analogy is? If you have a problem with my analogy, you need to explain why it's disanalogous. You can't just say those two things are different. Yeah, that's how analogies work. You compare different things to make a point.
I'm just criticizing you like you criticize other people.
And that's fine, but I'm criticizing you, criticizing me, criticizing you. Yeah, that's all this is.
Yes, we are each criticizing each other and will probably be criticizing each other for eternity. The point that I made is that you shouldn't be a hypocrite by criticizing trans people for being mean in the way that they demand you use their pronouns while simultaneously taking pride in the fact that you can be mean to women about their body hair. This is hypocrisy, and hypocrisy is bad.
I don't give two shits about you or any of the people I make videos about. This is how I make a living from this. Okay? I bought my house with this shit. Like, it's what I do.
Okay, cool flex, I guess. I also make a living off of making videos, but I would say that I actually do care about the people I make videos about to a certain extent. Like, if I can change people's minds, I think that's a good thing because I genuinely care about, like, making the world a better place. Admitting that you don't care about any of this and you're just doing it because you make money just means you're admitting to being a grifter, which, okay, I guess.
But if you want to come to this channel and watch, me talk shit about fucking crazy individuals, then do that. If you don't like it, don't. Fuck off. Go and beat off the reruns of The Big Bang Theory, bro. I assume that's what you do.
Jerk off to reruns of The Big Bang Theory? No, I only jerk off to reruns of Finding Bigfoot. You know, because I love big creatures covered in body hair. Come on, man. The joke was right there. Don't make me do your job for you, Isaac.
I don't need to appeal to feminists to get pussy.
It would help, though.
I'm in a committed relationship
We get it. You're in a committed relationship. Congratulations. I hope Mrs. Beard is very happy.
for 5 years. I'm not saying what I'm saying.
If you do see this, is the relationship still going? I hope so.
Yes, my ongoing relationship with Bigfoot is still ongoing. We're coming up on 8 years. I'm hoping to soon make her Mrs. Bigfoot Beard. But yeah, I am still dating my girlfriend. I agree it's a bit cringy to talk about getting pussy from my girlfriend, but it's also cringy for you to accuse everyone who is a feminist of only doing it to get pussy. Sometimes people just have opinions and they don't hold those opinions for the purpose of trying to get sex. I know that's like a crazy concept.
When have feminists ever claimed that women can't be toxic?
I'm not sure when they've claimed that, but rather than accepting women can be toxic, they like to push the blame onto other people. Good point, Isaac. Yeah, I guess they don't talk about the point that femininity can be toxic, and if you bring that up, then that's toxic masculinity personified, and you'd be called down for just doing that. So you're not allowed to talk about it, but he's saying that feminists don't say it doesn't exist. Well, if you can't talk about something, it probably isn't really open for discussion, is it?
Femininity can be toxic, and I think most feminists would agree with this. If you force onto women that they need to be feminine, this is toxic. Or if women use femininity to hurt other people, that would also be toxic. I think toxic masculinity is talked about more because men commit 90% of violent crimes. But yes, there absolutely are feminists talking about the ways that femininity can be weaponized in toxic ways. Like when trad wives say that you're only a real woman if you stay at home and take care of the kids and clean the kitchen every day.
Either it's okay to be an asshole or it's not okay to be an asshole. You can't just have it both ways.
I can do whatever the fuck I want, Ryan. Shut up.
You can't just be this nebulous person.
I am the nebula.
You know what, Isaac Butterfield? You are my hypocritical king. You can just own your hypocrisy, wear your hypocrisy crown. If you have no desires to even engage with the contradictions of your own worldview because you've openly admitted that you just do all of this to make money, then what is even the point of continuing this conversation? I just find it so funny that in this video, he admits that he's a hypocrite multiple times, and he admits that he does all of this for money and he doesn't really care, and all of the comments are still totally supporting him. It's just so interesting to me how much lower of a standard certain people are held to, but whatever, man.
You just take pride in the fact that you have no core values and you just are like,
Okay, let me put it this way. I have core values. Isaac Butterfield has core values, but the Buttsman on fucking YouTube, he sometimes has core values, he sometimes doesn't.
So in response to me criticizing that you don't have core values, you cop out by saying that the person you play on YouTube is a character. This has been one of my main criticisms of you from the start. If you just want to be an outrageous dude who says outrageous shit, then just be like Eric Andre. But if you want to go on YouTube and make political arguments that actually have impacts on people's lives, then you need to take it somewhat seriously, my dude.
Ralph, I imagine, was heavily bullied and really struggled through life, and now he's going out on the internet and trying to pick fights with people that he can win because he's got his supporters backing him up. That's fine, man. I imagine you read all your comments. That's great. I don't. I have things that I have to do in my real life.
I also have things going on in my real life. What kind of fucking argument is this? We are both equally lame losers who spend our entire lives on YouTube. I know you're just trying to like paint me out as some sort of chronically online loser who never goes outside, but that's just not the case. I mean, these days I've been spending a ton of time in the gym, but obviously none of this even fucking matters. These are all ad hominems with absolutely no substance to them.
I'm not saying this shit because I'm some sort of woke feminist who's trying to pander to women. I'm trying to help men too.
No man should ever listen to you about anything.
Men should never listen to me. Well, I was going to tell all the men in my audience to go subscribe to you, but I mean, you did just say that men should never listen to me, so sorry about that.
So the idea of pushing women forward is the idea of equity. That sometimes we have to prioritize women in ways where they have been unprioritized in the past so we can get ourselves...
Yeah, but what women? Black women, white women, brown women, Asian women? What type of women? Should we be prioritizing women with Down syndrome first? Where do we pick? Or could we just make everybody equal? Doesn't that make more sense? Like this equality of outcome shit, it's not good, it's not helpful, it's not healthy. And it doesn't work.
Yes, I want everyone to be equal, but in order for people to be equal, some people sometimes need help. If a disabled woman needs a wheelchair ramp to be able to access a building, you shouldn't just say, oh, we're all equal. We all just use the stairs. Get over it. So yes, sometimes different groups of women have different needs that need to be met in order for us to get to a place where we all are equal. And obviously the same goes for men. This doesn't only apply to women.
Some of the stuff that Ryan talks about is spot on. You know, you shouldn't be a bad dude. You shouldn't be a rude piece of shit. All this type of stuff in your normal life. But I just think he's off on a lot of these things. I just think like the equality of outcome thing that he just talked about then, I think he's way off on that. The idea that toxic masculinity is this terrible thing, hurting so many people, I think he's way off on that. And that toxic femininity doesn't really exist, I think he's off on that.
I appreciate you saying that I'm right on some things, but I never said that toxic femininity doesn't exist. I don't disagree with every single opinion Isaac holds either. I think he has more nuance than some of the people I see online. But I wish he would be more willing to examine his own hypocrisy instead of just saying, well, I'm a hypocrite, who cares, at least I'm making money.
I'm sure if we sat down and actually had a conversation, I think we'd agree on a lot of things too. So I think it's just one of these situations, a YouTube beef, if you will, to use a term from 2016, where we've had a crack at each other. I waited 2 years to respond because I didn't know this existed, and you know, nothing comes of it.
I'm sure we could sit down and have a conversation and we would agree on a lot of things. My personal trainer is an Australian centrist gym bro who kind of reminds me of Isaac in a lot of ways. But the thing I like about my personal trainer is that he seems to genuinely care about people. And it just doesn't feel like Isaac cares about people that much. I mean, he literally said earlier in the video that he just doesn't care about any of the people he responds to and he does all of this for money. But I hope that Isaac can keep being willing to listen to people who might disagree with him, because his content clearly appeals to like your average dude in Australia. And Australia does tend to be like a more progressive country than America in a lot of ways, but a lot of the dudes in Australia still have a bit of a problem with being assholes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. We've all lost some brain cells today, ladies and gentlemen. We're all dumber for the experience of listening to this gentleman, but I wish everybody the best. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and fucking dip my head in a cold bucket of water just to take the thoughts and the fucking brain rot that you have caused me, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. My dick stinks. Ryan, I hope you're well. Goodbye.
Well, Isaac, I am so sorry if your audience had to become dumber by listening to me. My audience has now been educated by your vast intellect. Thank you all for enduring this like 4-video inception. I also plan to never respond to Isaac again.
As I was just about to upload this video, I realized that Isaac made another video about me 6 days ago. The video is called Exposed, and in this video he exposes my deepest, darkest secret. The fact that I was on America's Got Talent. I think a lot of people already know that I was on America's Got Talent 9 years ago, but you really exposed me, Isaac. In the video, he tries to prove how bad my comedy is by showing me getting a massive laugh from the audience.
What's the song you're going to sing?
I'll be doing a song called Ladies Man.
That reaction from the crowd, that was rough. That was really, really mean. That laugh must just ring over and over and over in his head as he's trying to fall asleep every single night. Let's listen to it one more time.
Isaac, when you're doing comedy and you make a joke and then the audience laughs like this is actually the goal of comedy. Maybe when he does comedy, he's used to the audience being silent after he makes his jokes, so this is out of the ordinary for him. But I can promise you that getting a laugh after making a joke in comedy is a good thing. He also confuses Nick Cannon for Pharrell Williams.
Is that Pharrell Williams?
These two black dudes are actually not the same people, Isaac, but this is the type of deep, thorough research that I've come to expect from your videos. At the end of the video, he shows how on the second round of America's Got Talent, I ended up bombing. And yes, on America's Got Talent 9 years ago, I did perform a cringy song that got X'd by Simon Cowell. The song was intended to be kind of satirical and poke fun at typical nice guys.
Now all the nice girls, put your hands up.
but the satire absolutely did not work, and it just came across like I was trying to make myself appear like I was a nice guy, and so the song was super cringy and really bad. This is the second time in my life I had ever performed live musical comedy, and I was only 18 years old at the time, so I don't know, I cut myself a little bit of slack for failing one time 9 years ago. But Isaac, you have exposed me. I did bomb doing comedy one time 9 years ago. Since then, I've had a bunch of musical comedy songs that have gotten millions of views across various platforms, and I like to think that I've improved since that one time 9 years ago.
What seems to be the issue?
I have third-degree burns on my cock. It's covered in boils, and now all the skin's peeling off.
But Isaac, if you think I'm bad at comedy, you are entitled to your opinion, and I am entitled to my opinion that you're bad at comedy. I guess we're just two Australian blokes who think that the other one is shit at comedy. And honestly, if both of us were better at comedy, we would probably be only doing comedy shows instead of making YouTube videos dunking on each other.
Anyway, I am off to go fuck Bigfoot since I clearly love body hair so much. I will see you guys next time.